What is up, guys? Today we are looking at 3 Vayne builds, 2 pretty new ones that are making her more viable now, and 1 complete glass cannon hand build. Before we kick this off, this is another video sponsored by Discord, and you already know that I actually use this myself already. It's like a mix of Skype and TeamSpeak rolled into one better package. Anyway, I have my own server where you've all been asking me questions and chatting to each other, but tonight I'm going to be streaming viewer games with people from my Discord, which you can join in with, and giving away a $20 RP gift card for any server. How to join and details of the giveaway and stuff are in the description and on screen, but it's super simple. You download the client, you type in my link, and that's it. You're done. You're in my server. So let's go ahead and jump into the video though. For a change, I didn't find this build in Korea. This is actually something Doublelift and Gosu made very popular, but has been around for a little while. The first build is rushing a Ghostblade into Phantom Dancer and then Infinity Edge, Bloodthirst, and Mercurial, or at least a mix of those. Actually, before we get into this build properly, let me just explain why we'd even bother with this and the other builds in this video. Now, we all know Season 6 is a lot more early focus, right? That's why we're seeing the Ghostblade Lucian in the first place. Games are a little bit quicker, and we want to have an impact earlier, like the Lucian or Ezreal or Caitlyn. The problem with Vayne is kind of what you're seeing on screen. This is the win rate by game length pulled from champion.gg and op.gg. It gives you an idea that the issue with Vayne is she's weaker in the lane phase this season, but if we get to late game, then we can still carry. These builds are trying to help that. They're trying to raise her early power, let her survive more, and cover up that weakness so that we can basically just use our strength that we have later into the game. Ghostblade is going to be the first way that we can do that. It makes her Q hurt so much. Armor Pen and AD is really helpful. We're going to max our Q, by the way, with this build. Just a side note, like Korea already maxes their Q regardless of build because it gives more lane pressure, a better trade, more repositioning, more stealth in team fights, and just lets you go a little bit more aggressive. The idea is that you auto attack straight into a Q to do a very short but powerful trade with the enemy AD carry, and kind of repeat this over and over to get these small advantages. So not only does this make our trading better, but we have the 6 seconds of 45% attack speed with our ult. And it's kind of the best of both worlds, really. We get the better trades with tumble, but we also get a better all-in with more attack speed. Especially with your ultimate active, you gain even more AD, and your tumble seriously hurts. Remember that it does bonus physical damage, which also scales with rank. So it's AD from your ult, AD from Ghostblade, and it adds up to a ton of damage. The Ghostblade duration is 6 seconds, right? Your ultimate is 8. So by the time you've like tumbled into your ultimate, it's probably going to be about the same. And the combination of these two together is just really good. With this build in teamfights, your Ghostblade AD and Armor Pen is bursting lower health targets, but the attack speed and the silver bolts is still wrecking tanks, so you're actually going to be doing a lot of damage to everyone. So Ghostblade makes our lane phase better, but then we need some more attack speed really to do some consistent damage with our silver bolt procs in teamfights, and Phantom Dancer is really good for that. We get the attack speed, but we also get the damage reduction. It makes us even better in a 1v1 situation. More attack speed means more W damage as well. After that, most people are going Infinity Edge. Now this is crazy damage, but you are pretty glass cannon at this point. Bloodthirster would actually make your tumble hurt, plus you'd get a little bit more lifesteal, and Mercurial gives you some lifesteal, but it's the more defensive option. Runes and Masteries will be the same on basically all of these builds. You're going to get standard AD reds, armor yellows, magic resist blues, or maybe a mix of magic resist and attack speed depending how big your balls are, and attack speed quints. Masteries for more damage further is always going to be better, but Warlord is not actually that bad against really hard lanes, or if you're learning Vayne, you don't get much lifesteal in this build, so it makes it just a little bit easier to play her. Now I've been testing this build out a lot, and it definitely helps your early game. You can go way more aggressive, you can take shorter trades, and I just honestly cannot get over how much damage your tumble does with a few ranks in it. We're going to move on to our second new build though, the Triforce Vayne. This is one that a lot of different regions have been trying out, and I've been testing a bunch as well. You could even go hybrid with the Ghostblade build with this, like Ghostblade, Phantom Dancer, Triforce. It's expensive, but it's really good 1v1 and a ton of mobility. So the whole point of Triforce is, one, you get loads of attack speed, which is great for Vayne. You get some CDR, which is kind of nice for more tumbles, and it's also really good if you're maxing your Q as well. We get the Sheen as well, which is going to add to our tumble damage. You're kind of using the Sheen here for extra burst. So you auto attack and then Q to trade. It's like the easiest thing to do ever, but Sheen just gives us more damage with that. That's why we max our Q. The Phage as well is more mobility. You're harder to catch, and this makes you like really strong and durable in a 1v1. It's not the most optimal for damage output, but it doesn't really need to be. I know it sounds really weird, but Vayne has kind of too much damage. She doesn't need to unlock and use it all to kill someone. Often it's kind of about surviving to use that damage. It's like realistically, we need about 70% of our potential damage to kill someone, right? I pulled that 70% out of my ass, by the way. It's not actually 70, but that's just as an example, okay? So going over that and building more damage is great, and we kill them quicker, but it's overkill. We need to make sure we survive actually to do that damage. Anyway, so the great thing with Triforce is the earlier power spike, and it's a really big one. It's really good in in lane, we have the attack speed, the sheen, and the phage, and it's just a ton more damage, plus you're more tanky. The downside is it's more expensive, about 500 more gold than Blade or Ghostblade, so you're going to be waiting a little bit longer to get it, and you kind of waste some of the stats. Like Phantom Dancer is 2,550, right? You get more attack speed, damage reduction, and crit, so we're paying an extra 1,200 gold for sheen procs and phage basically while losing some crit. The idea is that we kill them faster with our sheen procs in the first place, but we also last longer in a fight with more mobility and more health. One reason why early game Vayne is weak is because she has no real ability damage, like she cannot poke well or she can't really burst as hard as others. She needs more time to kill someone than most people. As an example, if Lucian takes 3 seconds to kill you, right, with his burst, but you take 5 to kill him, then you're always going to lose. But Triforce is aimed at making him take longer to kill you and you shorter to kill him. So anyway, after Triforce, we're going to look for more attack speed and crit, ideally, if we can get away with it. Phantom Dancer, again, I think this is kind of core on Vayne now. It fits into this idea more of making you very hard to deal with while providing a lot of damage. After that, you have like Infinity Edge, which is the crit kind of glass cannon style. Bloodthirster is lifesteal. Blade the Ring King is very attack speed heavy here, but it's good versus multiple tanks or just a huge target you need to kill. Triforce doesn't actually have to be first either. In fact, a lot of the time I actually get it second. The good thing is that now it has so much attack speed on it, we can kind of slot it in to replace other attack speed items. Blade the Ring King into Triforce is really old school. It complements the percentage damage on Blade the Ring King with your attack speed, and it's incredible 1v1 with the active and Triforce Kite and Sheen. So far in this video, we have 2 ways to make our lane phase better, right? Ghostblade, a lot more damage and kill them quicker, or Triforce is more damage but we survive longer as well. So what happens if we stick the two together? I tried this on Irelia when the new Triforce came out, Ghostblade into Triforce for a massive early game power spike, and well, it actually does work. I know Vayne is not Irelia, obviously, okay, but in a way we get the best of both worlds. This is not optimal for damage output though. This is very good at killing squishy targets or in a 1v1, but for persistent damage output in a team fight, it is not going to be the highest. It is a trade-off really. We get less damage over a long fight, but more damage early, more burst, and more durable with this build. For example, like against the Jax, okay, Ghostblade or Triforce will help you a lot. It's going to kite better, you'll be more durable, you'll kill him quicker, and to me, that's worth losing a bit of overall DPS. So the third build, the last one, what about going full glass cannon, balls to the wall, and just killing everyone? Rageblade is absolutely 100% overpowered on Vayne, but it comes at a hefty price, which is the only reason more people don't use it. At 6 stacks, you apply on hit twice on every other auto attack. Now, Vayne silver bolts are on hit, so yes, you actually proc bolts every 2 hits now instead of 3. It has a few problems though. So one, 3,600 gold is very expensive. The build path kind of sucks as well, so you're like down in power before you actually complete it. You also need 6 auto attacks before it ramps up fully. It's not good for short fights, but it's ideal for longer ones. So for build wise, Blade the Ring King first, better dueling, active for the damage and the heal, attack speed, lifesteal is kind of a perfect item for Vayne, which is why we see it so often. Phantom Dancer next, more attack speed, more percentage damage, more silver bolts, and the damage reduction to duel people as well. By the way, we're going to be maxing our W if we use this build as well. Then we get the Rageblade. So not only are the silver bolts going to proc every 2 auto attacks, but also the percentage damage from Blade the Ring King applies twice as well. It's an absolute monster, but full glass cannon, no defense really at all. Wit's End would be really amazing in this build, but the attack speed is kind of overkill, and honestly you have enough damage anyway, so Guardian Angel would be good, anything to stay alive. In a nutshell, this has a massive potential payoff when you're at 3 items. You will kill everyone and you can carry so hard, but it's a later power spike. It doesn't help us early, and that is a bigger risk. It's a risk because one, we might not even get that late into the game in the first place, right? We kind of have to hope we actually do get to that point where we can kill people, and 2, we might just die before we actually kill anyone because we have no defense. So anyway, those are the 3 new builds that have popped up for Vayne since the last patch, and you should have a much better idea now of why each one works and what you want to be using. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And for a change, we're actually not going to go to the robots to finish this video. I'm just kidding. I'm going to leave you with the robots.